It was late September of 2017, and the clown sighting craze was at its peak. I was in college at the time, living in a small town in northern Pennsylvania. Everyone thought the stories were fake, just internet hype, until it started happening near our campus. There was an old wooden bridge about a mile out of town. Locals called it Carter's Crossing. It was mostly used by kids sneaking around at night or couples who wanted privacy. During the day, it looked normal. A narrow bridge over a small creek, surrounded by trees. But at night, it had this feeling to it, the kind that makes you instinctively quiet. One night, around midnight, me and my roommate Kevin were driving back from a friend's place. We'd been joking about all the clown sightings online when we saw a light flicker near the bridge. It looked like someone standing in the middle of it, holding a flashlight. At first, I thought it might have been a jogger or someone taking pictures, but as we got closer, I realized it wasn't a flashlight. It was a balloon. A single red balloon, glowing faintly under the dim streetlight, and right beneath it a man, dressed head to toe as a clown. His costume looked dirty, faded, not bright and cartoonish like a circus clown, but worn, almost gray. The makeup on his face was cracked, and his mouth was painted in a wide, uneven smile. He was standing perfectly still, holding the balloon with one hand and something else in the other. Kevin slowed the car down, half laughing, half nervous. Bro, no way. That's one of those prank guys. But when we stopped about 20 feet away, the clown slowly tilted his head, looking straight at us. Then, without warning, he started walking forward. His steps were slow, deliberate. At first, Kevin laughed, but when the clown started dragging what looked like a small sledgehammer behind him, scraping it against the wood, the sound made every hair on my neck stand up. I yelled for Kevin to drive, and he slammed the gas. As we sped past him, I looked out the window just in time to see the clown's head snap toward us, that cracked white grin catching the light. We didn't stop until we hit the highway. When we called the cops, they said they'd send someone to check. Later that week, we found out the clown had been spotted again. Same bridge, same balloon. But this time, the local paper reported that someone's dog had gone missing near there. I never drove that road again. And to this day, whenever I see a bridge at night, I can still hear the sound of that metal dragging against the wood. In 2020, I moved back in with my mom after losing my apartment during lockdown. Her house sat on the edge of town, right against a patch of woods. It was quiet, peaceful, until one night in late October. It was around 1 a.m. I couldn't sleep, so I went downstairs to get water. From the kitchen window, I had a clear view of the backyard. The motion light flickered on. I thought maybe a raccoon triggered it, but then I saw movement. Someone was standing near the old swing set. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. The figure looked tall, bulky, wearing something colorful. I squinted and realized it was a clown costume. The figure wasn't moving, just standing there, facing the house. I whispered, "Mom," but stopped myself. She was asleep upstairs. Then the clown started moving, not toward the house, but side to side, slow and rhythmic, like it was swaying. The motion light flickered again, and I realized what it was doing. It was pushing the swing back and forth, back and forth. The old chains creaked, loud enough to echo through the yard. I froze, unable to look away. The clown suddenly stopped, turned its head toward the window, directly toward me, and waved. That was it. Just a slow, casual wave. I ducked out of sight and called 911. When the cops arrived, they searched the woods and found footprints, large, heavy ones, leading deep into the trees. They didn't find anyone, but one of the officers came back to tell me something that still haunts me. He said the prints led to a clearing about 50 yards out, and in the middle of that clearing was a small folding chair, a bottle of water, and an empty bag of chips, like someone had been sitting there, waiting. This happened when I was 24. I had just started a new job, working late nights at a gas station off Route 83. The area was surrounded by farmland, barely any houses, just long stretches of road and one flickering streetlight at the corner. One night, around 3 a.m., the place was completely dead. I was sweeping outside near the pumps when I heard a faint sound. Laughter. Not loud, but soft, almost like someone chuckling to themselves. At first, I ignored it. Maybe a radio somewhere. But then I saw him. Across the road, standing under that lone streetlight, was a man in a clown suit. He was old. You could tell from how his clothes hung loose, how his hands trembled slightly. But what scared me most wasn't how he looked. It was how still he was. He didn't move, didn't wave, didn't dance. Just stood there, his painted face aimed straight at me. I went back inside and locked the door. I watched him from the counter for nearly 10 minutes. He didn't move an inch. Then slowly he lifted his hand and pointed at the station. I grabbed the phone to call the police, but by the time they arrived, the clown was gone. They searched the lot and found nothing except one thing: a small yellowed photograph taped to the streetlight. It showed a group of kids from what looked like the 1980s, all smiling beside a man in the same clown costume. But one of the faces in the photo had been scratched out.